Hello, welcome to the podcast. I'm Ralph. I'm here with Cam.
Yes, hi. And today we'll be discussing the two best DreamWorks movies.
This is a surprise. I did not know this. I did not yet know you had those.
They were hiding. I've had them a while.
Yeah. Well, I knew you had those. Just I didn't know you were gonna bring them out for this.
It's never a bad time to break out old DreamWorks DVDs.
You want to get in the Drive Away Dolls?
Sure.
One Cohen.
Ethan Cohen and his
Ethan
wife
Cohen.
Trisha Cook. She co-wrote it with Ethan.
Yeah. They're working together on their next movie again.
I think so. Yeah.
Because
The two
this
brothers.
one didn't do great in the box office, unfortunately. I don't think that's why, but it didn't do great. I think it made like $2 million or something. It did like terrible. Yeah.
I could kind of see why. Not, I mean, we both thought it was fine, but it's definitely very out there. It's less accessible than like their regular, Ethan's regular output, with Joel. It's very specific.
Mm-hmm. It is very funny though. I did like the performances. I thought Margaret Qualley was just great. I think she's great in everything. I really
she was very funny. And Geraldine Viswanathan, I think I say her name.
I don't think I've ever seen her in anything, but yeah, she was. They were both really good.
Blockers, which I didn't see. Blockers.
I didn't see that either.
I heard it was funny.
Yeah, like Pedro Pascal and Matt Damon and all the supporting people.
Yeah,
they were
Coleman,
all great.
Domingo.
Yeah. Everyone was funny. It's like a good crime story. Like it's kind of like what's that Soderbergh movie? Leave No Trace. I think that's what it's.
Leave No Trace.
That's the one with Thomas and McKenzie.
Logan Lucky. Is that what you're talking about?
No, well, yeah, Logan Lucky's kind of like that too.
Yeah,
but it's,
I like Logan Lucky a little more than this, but
it's the one with like Don Cheadle and
No Sudden Move.
No Sudden Move. That's it. Yeah, it reminded me of that, where it's just like a solid crime comedy film where you really like all the characters and. Yeah,
sure.
It's very straightforward. But
this one's a little more comedic than.
Yeah, definitely more comedic. And very silly. Like even with like
really
the transitions are fucking crazy. Like every transition in this movie is like, okay, how can we like make it more and more ridiculous every time?
Yeah,
and then they start transitioning to like Miley Cyrus, like in like this weird, funky stuff. Like it's in like a lava lamp or something. You're like, what is this now? And eventually it makes sense, but. It's like very, you're like, what is going on for like a mainstream audience? For me, I love that shit. I love shit that's weird because I'm weird. But when, I think of like normal people watching it, they're probably like, what is this? I want to watch, Hunger Games or something.
Oh, sure. Not to say, it is like an acquired taste. It's not, because the scene transitions are like pretty cartoonish. It's a little like, it's almost like
really
a car
like out there
driving by.
Yeah, and it like stops. So it's almost like Goodfellas, like the opening credits with the.
Yeah,
scrolls.
sure. And it's interesting because Joel Cohen did his own solo movie, The Tragedy of Macbeth, whatever that was, like 2 years ago. And that one was very like dramatic. It's interesting to think if it almost feels like the two brothers kind of balance each other out, like because even in like a lot of their movies, there is kind of like that balance, like more zany comedy and intense drama. Because we mentioned No Country for Old Men. Obviously, that one's pretty intense, but there are comedic moments throughout. So and Fargo, like stuff like that.
Right. And then they have like Hail Caesar, which is way more overtly silly, or like Serious Man and. That kind of stuff. The one with
Burn After Reading.
Burn After Reading, yeah.
Yeah,
and Up in the Air.
Up in the Air. Different Clooney movie. But that's part of obviously they're some of my favorite directors. And I like the fact that like there is like quite a difference. Like going even like if you go like chronologically, their movies are like they don't just do the same movie like over and over. Like there's quite they started out, they did Blood Simple and then Raised in Arizona. I mean there's there could be like thematic similarities, but never they never like quite like just do the same thing over and over.
No, exactly, and that's why I really like them, right? And I've liked that they've kind of branched out, and made their own films too. I like the Macbeth movie. I do prefer when they work together. I think some of their best work is when and I'm glad they're making their next film together. But this was also like an interesting little kind of aside for their career.
Yeah,
Just seeing
yeah.
them they each make their own film. And yeah, I enjoyed it overall. I thought it was super solid and funny, and I see why people might not like it. It isn't entirely accessible, but I thought it was pretty
Yeah, and
funny.
it is funny. It's definitely like very slight. It's not like, oh, I didn't like love it, but I had fun with it. Yeah, I mean, it's like very brisk too. It's only like, an hour and 25 minutes or something.
Yeah, it's pretty short. So yeah, I would recommend it. I'd give it a 3.5 star.
Yeah, I'm like somewhere around there, like 3.5 star.
Yeah. Solid. Okay. You want to talk about Dune 2?
Sure, Dune Part 2. A lot of sand.
Part 2. A lot of sand.
You got the
I
poster
hate
behind
sand.
you.
Yeah. That's fun. I didn't coordinate that, but yeah, it's right there. I hate sand. Right next to it's my Rise of the Beast.
That one I can't really
Poster.
see as well. But
Yeah. It's like off frame. The G.I. Joe.
Right, G.I. Joe wants to recruit Paul Atreides.
Yeah.
That's how it ends.
Okay, so Dune 2, right? It continues the story from Dune 1. Which is it's pretty complicated, but basically it follows like Timothée Chalamet's character, Paul Atreides, as he like his family is kind of overthrown from power by the Baron.
As happened in the first one, right?
Yeah, and then this is him like joining with the Fremen who live in the desert to like rise up against the evil Harkonnens, yeah, and like take back their planet, take back the kingdom, and him be the emperor. He's like the destined Messiah according to all the prophecies and whatever. It's about like prophecy and religion, and it's all tied in there, and then. Yeah, there's all this like the sandworms and that
he's got to ride the worm. It's an Alaskan
a ton of characters.
Worm.
It was like that, like in SpongeBob.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, there are a lot of characters. Most of them have carried over from the first one, but there are also like several new characters introduced, like played by Florence Pugh and Austin Butler and Christopher Walken.
Yeah. You said he was like a little underused. I could see that, but they might make a sequel. He could be in it more.
Yeah, I think there probably will be. Like that didn't feel like a definitive enough conclusion.
No, it didn't really. And that's kind of how the book ends, but yeah, it doesn't feel like an ending to me. They were talking about making it 2 movies, but I think they're going to do. They should do Dune Messiah. I mean, honestly, this movie was so good.
Yeah, a lot of fun, and I presume
exciting.
A lot of. It came out a month ago, so a lot of you have probably seen it already. But yeah, it's great to see it in the theater, whether it's like Dolby or IMAX. Yeah.
I'm glad I let it sit for a while because I saw it twice. I really like it. There's a lot of memorable scenes in it. It looks beautiful, like stunning. It really brings the world to life of that book, and I'm sure fans of the book. Like I've never read it because it seems like a huge fucking undertaking, but. I'm sure fans of the book were just like, this is Dune. This is like how the story, he adapted it. He made the unfilmable film, and he made it. He did it great. Yeah, you really like connect with these characters.
Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah, Denis Villeneuve. He's a great director. Yeah, I love his Blade Runner film as well. He's great with science fiction. He's like one of the best science fiction directors. Arrival. Yeah, that was a great one too. And yeah, great visuals, great soundtrack. I thought the score for this movie was great too. Lots of really memorable music cues. Yeah, Hans Zimmer. I liked Zendaya in it. I liked Josh Brolin. Austin Butler was phenomenal. I thought he was one of the best parts of it.
Yeah,
his character, Faye Rotha. Yeah,
is that his name? I didn't
something like that. I think he's just like brutal. Like he's like just
he's pretty
slicing people's
despicable.
Throats. Yeah. Just like no. I love how because I was thinking of Star Wars, right, which is like one of my and yours too favorite, one of the best science fiction movies ever, and drawing the parallels to that, and I'm pretty sure like the original Star Wars is based on Dune, the novel, anyway, and so this is kind of like
Yeah, a lot.
Coming full circle. Like the Harkonnens are like the Empire, and they have like this trademark look that's very intimidating, but also very badass. That's like the Empire, like how everyone likes how Darth Vader and the Stormtroopers look. They look cool. You know, the Harkonnens look cool. Their ships look cool. I love the scene where they go on their planet under the black sun and everything's black and white. And that scene's fucking. That's probably the best scene in the movie. The arena scene on the Harkonnen planet. That scene's fucking sick. It's great, and the music,
the lighting's very eerie, and
yeah.
I was thinking of Star Wars because you know, obviously, you mentioned like Dune, like it covers a lot of like, you know, different religious topics and what, like this is like definitely hardcore sci-fi. Like something like Star Wars is kind of more of a pastiche. It's fantasy, it's action. This one's like very deep into like the, you know, it's not for like casual like sci-fi people. I mean, they might enjoy the like, you know, the visuals, but yeah, like a lot of like, you know, mumbo jumbo about, you know, got to drink the worm juice and
like all the different priests and whatever, and you know. Also, I was thinking of Star Wars. We're getting into spoilers now, but like the kind of family connection, like it is revealed that Paul is a Harkonnen, like by blood or whatever, and that it's kind of like Star Wars with, you know, Luke is Darth Vader's son.
Right. Obviously, this is more of a a revelation. Sorry.
Right. But you can see like the threads, like, oh, that's kind of like Star Wars and whatever. It works. I think it's in a good way.
Yeah. You've seen the David Lynch one from the 80s. I never have. I know like David Lynch wasn't happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, it's quite bad. Yeah. I've shown you the video of him talking about Star Wars, or I think you've seen it.
Oh, like you mean because Lucas offered him Return of the Jedi, and he said like, "What is a Wookiee?"
He's like, "Wookiees? What?" Like that's just not his thing.
Yeah, it's not his
science fiction epics, you know, whatever. And you know, something about like the Lynch, like you think he'd be good for Dune because it's such a crazy idea and he makes crazy movies. But what worked about Denis is like he just kind of reined all this crazy shit in, this like crazy novel. He made it very grounded and focused on like the key parts of what made it work and the relatable parts. And I think it's just very focused, and you know, you care about the drama and the characters. And
yeah, it is engaging, and I noticed like the structure of it's like kind of like episodic. You spend quite a lot of time on Paul and, you know, Chani at the beginning. It's less so like something like the Two Towers, you know, that like kind of cuts in between a lot more between the different characters. I feel like like this movie, like you spend a lot of time with the heroes, and then you see, you know, the Harkonnen a little more, then they face off in the climax.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting structure there. Yeah, I don't have much else to say about it. I thought it was great all around.
Yeah,
looks great.
Yeah, people are definitely very enthusiastic about it. Yeah, I liked it a lot. It's just, you know, I feel like there can be a lot of pressure sometimes when, like, you know, the new big movie comes out. It's like, you know, it's #1 on IMDb. It's got, you know, like a 9.8. You know, it's like, yeah, like, you know, sometimes you gotta like let things. No, I'm glad people, you know, are excited about it. I'm not trying to be like a Debbie Downer. It's just like, you know, sometimes you gotta let things sit with you for a while.
Yeah, right. I love the first Dune. I gave that one a 9. And I thought this one was probably better.
I don't know if I'd rate I like the first one. I don't know if I'd rate it a 9, but I think I think I prefer the second one.
Yeah, I do. It is like a satisfying payoff to everything that first one set up. And that first one's really just set up. It's good set up. Yeah. It's well done, but it's set up to like this. And this is all like action, or at least a lot of it. Like there's some cool shit in this movie. So he rides a sandworm. He rides a bullworm like SpongeBob.
Right. And I think, you know, there's like a, you know, humor like scat thread, particularly with, you know, Javier Bardem's character.
Right. Yeah, he's basically the comedic relief of the film. Yeah, he's great in this. Very funny. And yeah, who else? We basically mentioned everyone who was in it.
I think it was, you know, runs at a reasonable length. I mean, it's like 2 hours and 40 something minutes. Like it doesn't like drag too much or anything. I think it, you know, has a good, you know, energy to it, especially compared to something like Rebel Moon, which we covered a couple months ago. That was, much more of a slog to sit through.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel long. Yeah. So, okay.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. I give it a 9 or whatever out of 10.
Yeah, I think I'll give it an 8 for now. Yeah, I saw it twice. I saw it with friends, and I was just wondering, like, what do you think that worm juice tastes like? It looked like Powerade.
Yeah, that's what I imagine it tastes like. I imagine it tastes like Gatorade.
Sugary.
Yeah, yeah.
It helps you see the future and the past and everything else. And plus, that's quite a. And one more thing before we move. Obviously, Paul's kind of like the almighty one by the everybody's like kissing his ass, but like it is kind of like a little off-putting. A little, I feel like the bubble's gonna burst with him. Because with the Chinese not really happy with how things turned out.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they'll be covered more in the third one, and he had to choose between Timothy. He had to choose between Florence Pugh and Zendaya. That's not an easy decision.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's like Challengers.
Right. Well, maybe we'll cover that one too. That looks good.
We should.
That filmed
probably
around
be good.
here.
I've heard good things about it.
Mm-hmm.
Heard there's a lot of male nudity. I know you're looking forward to that.
Yeah, you
A
too.
lot of dicks.
My friend at work pointed out there was like a correlation with with the live action Spider-Man, like Peter Parker's, like all those guys played soldiers in movies, Brothers and Hacksaw Ridge, but all the Mary Janes played tennis in movies.
Oh really?
Yeah,
oh yeah, yeah.
Never occurred, like Kirsten Dunst and Emma Stone and Zendaya. They've all played tennis players in a movie.
Yeah. Wait, Emma Stone in what?
Battle of the Sexes. I didn't see that one. That was the
the
directors that did Little Miss Sunshine.
That's funny. Every Mary Jane has to have their tennis movie. Yeah, I never heard of that. That's really funny, actually. And all the Spider-Mans have a soldier movie. Yeah, because Tom Holland is Cherry.
Right, which is that's one we could cover.
Yeah, you really want to cover that one, yeah.
Well, it looks really bad.
Yeah. We got a lot we need to cover, I mean.
Yeah, it's just funny because, like, how many tennis movies are there, period? I mean, not that many that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Definitely more soldier movies.
Yeah, it would be funny if all 3 Mary Jane actresses were in horse riding movies or horse dancer.
I don't know. I mean, Zendaya's only done so many movies, but
yeah,
just 'cause, but yeah, there may be other correlations like that.
Yeah, they should.
Well, what's it? The Oceans guys, like they play guys, trapped in space, like Gravity and The Martian and Ad Astra. Abandoned
that's true.
Astronauts. That's like another one like that.
Yeah, they all have their space movies where they're like, they're stuck in space or something. Huh.
Right.
What is it?
The death chill. The power to kill by fear itself.
Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. What do we think of this one?
Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I didn't see the other one, Afterlife.
Yeah, me neither.
So I didn't have a lot of the context for certain things. Like they have an adopted daughter or something.
No, I think...
Or it's just a girl.
The mother, Carrie Coon. Carrie Coon's their mother. Daughter. And then she's
dating Paul Rudd.
Yeah. Right, yeah. It got remarried, whatever.
And Finn Wolfhard is Paul Rudd's kid?
No, I think they're both meant to be Carrie Coon's kids.
Oh, okay.
Him and McKenna Grace.
And then he has the first thing I say whenever I talk about this movie is that there's like 20 characters because you have like 10 of the new characters, Paul Rudd and all that, and then you have all the old guys who are in this too. Really, only 2 of them are necessary, which is Dan Aykroyd and
Ernie Hudson.
Houston. Yeah.
Houston,
Ernie
Winston.
Winston. I combined Ernie Hudson and Winston. But really, they're the only 2 who like really need to be part of the story or who are part of the story, and the rest of them are just like kind of thrown in.
Well, they bring back Janine, Annie Potts' character.
Yeah. But like Bill Murray,
they're all good in their roles. I mean, like it's nice to see them back. Bill Murray as Venkman. Yeah, it's just like it's a lot.
It was just way too much with that. Like they bring the guy who's in the first movie is the mayor now.
Walter Peck. Yeah, William Atherton.
Jesus, guys, it's so nostalgia bait.
Yeah, I mean there have been a lot. I think. I mean, I want to say it's like Force Awakens around. There've been a lot of like these kind of like legacy sequels.
Yeah, but
And some of them have been pretty great, like Fury Road and Creed and Top Gun Maverick. I think and some of specifically with those movies, they're not really like cameo parades. They're focused on kind of telling new stories, but that branch from the original series. And yeah, I mean, I don't think this movie's as bad as something like Jurassic World Dominion, but it kind of has like a similar problem, just like so many
it was
characters.
giving me that vibe though of Dominion. It's just like too much shit going on, way too much. Yeah, throwing in all these characters, and you remember this, you remember that, and but it's not right. It has no like emotional core. It's just very hollow and forgettable ultimately. And yeah, it's just like a lot of the characters don't really do anything. Like Carrie Coon, great actor, wasted in the movies, barely has anything to do. Finn Wolfhard's barely in it.
He kind of vanishes at certain point. He's not really in like the second act. It's almost like jarring when he like reappears in the climax. It's like, where the fuck has he been?
Yeah, it's mainly about like the girl, I think, and her ghost friend.
Yeah, Phoebe.
Meets. Yeah, and it's mostly like about that, and then Paul Rudd's kind of part of it.
Yeah,
she's like trying to get used to him being around as her like father figure.
Yeah, right. And
it's just so thrown in, like it's like a million things going on.
It's a very busy movie, and you mentioned Phoebe. She becomes friends with a ghost girl. I don't know if she got a name. If she did, I don't remember. But I mean. That is something that's like different. That wasn't really in the first couple of movies. They weren't like becoming friends with the ghosts. But like in this, like it almost feels like they're kind of teasing like a love story angle, but they never quite like commit to that. That's what I thought they were going for. But yeah, they kind of just they kind of steer away from it. Because Phoebe, spoilers, but like Phoebe, she like becomes a ghost temporarily. They give some, explanation of how she can do it briefly, but then the ghost girl just betrays her before anything materializes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's right. Her name is Melody.
Melody. Did they say her name in the movie? If they did, I don't remember.
They might have. I think they did.
Who plays her?
Her name's Emily. Ellen Lind.
Emily Lind?
Emily Alyn Lind.
Okay.
Or Aline Lind or something like that. But she's like in The Babysitter and Lights Out and Doctor Sleep.
I didn't see Doctor Sleep. I know you did. You said it wasn't that great.
But yeah, it's just way too much stuff going on in this movie, and we're not even talking about the main plot, which is like this Frozen Empire ghost or whatever, the ghost that summons ice.
Yeah, because I guess Kumail Nanjiani, he comes into Ray's Ray, Dan Aykroyd. He's got a store. I mean, Dan Aykroyd's actually in quite a bit of this. He's got paranormal item store, and Kumail Nanjiani like has this thing, and it's like turns out he's like the Ice King. He's almost kind of like a superhero, I guess. He has like some hidden powers. It's kind of hard to explain, but he basically he can help fight he can control fire. He can help defeat the ice ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And there's other stuff that happens, and I guess there are other characters from Afterlife, like the kid's friends. Like this other boy like podcasts. I feel like you don't really need like his character and Finn Wolfhard character. I feel like they could have just been one. It's just like there's too many
what's her name? Lucky.
Yeah, the girl. She's also in Madam Web.
Yeah. And then, Patton Oswalt is in this. Like, I completely forgot.
I didn't mind him turning up. I don't.
But I just feel like there's like so many characters,
Yeah. It's just very busy. It's also kind of like a different style of humor from like the original. I mean, the original is one of my favorite movies. I know you're fond of it too. It's just One of the best things about the first one is just like is its speed, like and it's it never really slows down. It begins as a ghost in the library, and then they get together, they see the ghost, and then they start the squad.
Yeah, it's pretty right, bang bang, like get to the ghost busting right away. Yeah. Also, it's not overtly, I feel, a family film like this one is. It has a very dry sense of humor, the first Ghostbusters, and it's basically like a kid's movie. This movie, I mean, there's a lot of kid characters in it. and it's like trying to appeal to them. But I don't know. I don't think kids would find this very interesting. I mean, maybe they would like it. Maybe they think it's fun.
I mean, as a kid, I really got into Ghostbusters. Yeah, like you said, it's not like super family friendly. I mean, because those guys, they were just coming off, like Animal House and Blues Brothers. I mean, like it's a little less edgy than those, but like it is kind of like that style of Saturday Night Live. Like with the Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. Like they're very quick. Like a lot of it's like improvisation and. Yeah, and like specifically like Frozen Empire, it kind of feels like that like the comedy has to stop for exposition, which was not the case like in the first movie.
Exactly. Yeah. So yes, I didn't think it was a terrible movie or anything, but I just didn't think it was great. I just didn't think it was great. And it's very unremarkable. I'll probably never watch it again.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't miserable. It is like pretty like inoffensive entry. It's not like, oh my god, Ghostbusters is ruined because of this one. Yeah, it's like it's whatever. I could see people enjoying it, but yeah, it feels like a little insubstantial. I mean, there are like bits like that I liked. I probably like chuckled a couple times, but yeah, when you just like have to like, include so many new characters and like old characters, and yeah, it's not great. I mean, how does it compare to the 2016 one, the Paul Feig one?
Well, it's better than that one. That one is a total piece of shit.
Yeah,
and that one, that was so weird. They brought all the old guys back, but they were other characters. They weren't their original characters. Bill Murray was like a ghost skeptic. Made no fucking sense. I don't know why they did that. That movie was a piece of shit. I mean, really.
Yeah, I got paid for it. I was.
Oh yeah, you were in the bar scene there.
Yeah,
I think I mentioned you in my review. Like, I had a friend who was on set. They said it took hours to film that scene. It probably did because they were improv.
Yeah, it was like I don't think it went like till like midnight or anything. It was like just like kind of like the middle of the day. But yeah.
Kids. Sorry, the kids were naming the movie really Podcast.
I think it was. Yeah, I remember his name.
I see it here on the cast list. That's so dumb.
I mean, no exaggeration. There really are like there's like like 18 characters, like
something like that. It's fucking. Yeah. I couldn't count.
It's something like that. Yeah, because there's like there's the family, right, with Paul Rudd and those guys. They're the four. Yeah, four characters from the five, I guess, if you include Walter Peck from the
15.
original. Yeah, and then there's like all their friends.
Yeah,
and
all their friends. Yeah, there's like like 5 of the original guys, and then like 10 new characters. So yeah, like 15 people.
Right.
Yeah, and it's so silly. Like I can't imagine writing this film like with these confines. Like, okay, the producers are like, okay, you need to write the script and fit all this in. It's like Jesus.
Yeah,
it's like Magnolia.
Right. Yeah. Jumping to Tom Cruise, giving us
kid pisses his pants.
Kid pisses his pants. Yeah. William H. Macy knocks his teeth out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this, this was directed by Gil Kennan, who also did Monster House. That was one I watched as a kid. I liked that one.
Oh yeah, I gotta see that one again. I liked it, when I saw it.
Yeah, because I think Afterlife was Jason Reitman, son of Ivan Reitman. Obviously, Jason Reitman has directed a lot of his own movies, but yeah, I guess they're trying to keep this franchise going. It's funny because, really the franchise, it was kind of dormant for a while. Obviously, the first one was 84, I think. Then the second one was 89. And then I guess there was the show. I don't know how long the show was on, but yeah, I mean, there wasn't like there was no third one for years. Then they did the Paul Feig one, and then they did these two. Yeah, it's very, spread out. I'm trying to think, obviously, sometimes it can work like this long, because we really love, Mission Impossible. Like, we're happy, like, those are still going. I think it kind of just depends on, like, what you knew you have to offer when it's like, franchises gone on so long. Because obviously, like, something like Terminator, that's kind of like running on fumes at this point. I don't think people are really that invested in, like,
no, that's a bad franchise at this point. Like Dark Fate, no one gave a shit.
Yeah, that
Terminator, there's like nothing to do with it. It's just keep doing the same thing over and over. Yeah.
Yeah. You only postpone Judgment Day.
the same shit every time. Yeah. Okay, so 5 out of 10 for Frozen Empire.
Yeah, me too. Nothing like, it's not horrendous. It's just kind of underwhelming.
So Cam, there's one last movie we could talk about.
Civil War.
Yeah, we give people an extra review.
A bonus.
We've given them a lot today. A lot of reviews.
Yeah.
A big catch up.
Big mustard.
Yeah. I knew you were gonna make a joke like that.
There's no time for jokes.
But Civil War is from Alex Garland, who's a director I really like.
Director
I like all his stuff.
Ex Machina, Annihilation Men, writer of 28 Days Later.
Good science fiction director, horror he does. This is like more action focus, and yeah, it's about like a modern day civil war with like this it's like this army, the Western forces are taking over America. They're gonna kill the president or whatever.
Yeah. Played by Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
President Ron Swanson.
Mm-hmm.
He was good in the movie, yeah. Small part.
Yeah, he's good. He's not in it much, but he has a presence over.
Do you want to get into spoilers a little, or do you want to just do a quick synopsis?
We can leave it vague. I mean,
yeah, sure.
Yeah. I didn't say much. Do you think? Did I? Yeah. And basically you just follow like Kirsten Dunst as this photographer, this war photographer, as she goes through the country to DC. It's really good. It's enthralling and really great action, especially toward the end. It kind of builds up to like a lot of action at the end. But like great characters. I really enjoyed it. I heard the people who made it describe it as a road trip movie, which it is kind of in a weird way.
They kind of right. The journalists are trying to get from from New York to DC,
right? Mm-hmm.
But they have to take a bit rather circuitous route to avoid getting ambushed because there's crazy shit going on.
Right, exactly. And yeah, there's all the it's really about like war photography too. And
the journalists covering war zones. It's Kirsten Dunst. It's good cast. Wagner Moura.
Kirsten Dunst is great in it. Sorry, she's just like a very different character for her. Very gruff, which is like not what I'm used to seeing her. She's a tough bitch in this movie. It's very tough.
It's great. Obviously, she's someone I watched for a long time. Obviously, it's Mary Jane and all these other Virgin Suicide. She's been around a while, and it's cool to see. She should get different kind of roles. She obviously has a lot of range.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. She was Kiki. She had the broom. She was the broom and her black cat.
Mm-hmm.
Different kind of movie. And she's with Wagner Moura is like her friend and like co-worker, and then Stephen McKinley Henderson, he's another journalist. He's in a bunch of movies, Lady Bird and the first Dune and stuff like that. And Kaylee Spaney, who was Distant Priscilla. She's like kind of like an admirer of Kirsten Dunst's character. She also wants to become a journalist, but she's very understandably spooked by all the atrocities she's seeing, and learns how to be very proactive during all the mayhem she's witnessing.
Jesse Plemons in it too. A very small role. He's in the trailer, so I don't feel we're giving away too much. I really like this.
And he's married to Kirsten Dunst in real life. They've worked together a couple times now, but that was cool. Yeah, he's another. He's kept pretty busy since Breaking Bad and Friday Night Lights. Yeah, he's pops up a lot. And he's as he should. He's a good actor. Yeah,
he's awesome. He's great. It's probably one of my favorite actors, character actors at this point.
Yeah, very reliable. Yeah, with just in whatever Irishman and what
everything
else?
Is good.
I'm thinking of ending things. Yeah.
He's in Killers of the Flower Moon also.
Killers of the Flower Moon, right? Yeah, exactly. Power of the Dog and a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, the movie looked great. Great effects. It's good. He makes a road trip movie because it's like you're in a car with Alex Garland for 2 hours, like going down the road, playing music. He picks a lot of good songs.
Yeah, it's
a good like Spotify playlist movie.
Yeah, it's funny that this is the second movie I've seen recently, which was it was also A24. There was that Love Lies Bleeding, which I liked. I don't think you've seen it, but
no, I haven't seen it yet.
That both movies used songs by the band Suicide at certain points, which I thought was interesting. Yeah, there was a De La Soul song they used. Yeah, it was. I'm a fan of Alex Garland too, and yeah, it was an interesting contrast between this and Men, because Men is very kind of small scale story, but this is very big, wide scope, a lot of more. I liked Men too, but this was it had more like kind of like spectacle.
Yeah, it had a
to
huge world building to it. Yeah, almost like Dune.
Yeah.
But yeah, it stays very focused on the journalist's perspective. You don't see outside of their perspective, because in a war scenario, if this was happening, most people wouldn't be able to see anything outside of what a journalist basically photographs and whatever. So that was like an interesting kind of point of view of the story. And yeah, great movie. I really liked it. I'm going to see it again tomorrow.
Yeah, I'd like to
I'm
check
excited
it out
to see it again. Yeah, I'd give it a 4-star.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, liked it a lot. Yeah, I think that and Dune. Yeah, I haven't seen a ton of movies yet this year, but I think that and Dune Part 2 are probably my favorites so far.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Cam, I think that's all for today. We've been going a while. I got stuff to do. Got some calls to make. All right, bye, everybody.